Okay, today we'll be starting out about this amazing book, and I think that every female and male should read this book. Why? Because it's very fascinating on the female brain, right? And I read this book. I bought it in the second-hand store, right? It's called The Female Brain, and how the female brain is wired is very different from the male aspect. Of course, I'm a guy. I want to know, of course, the female brain, right? It's because they see differently. They do things differently from most guys, right? You see, most guys they like hard stuff. No homo. But if you think about it, vastly female and male are different in a way that they see things different, right? And I think I say that, but all right. But before that, I'm going to tell you, I decided that I'm going to build a library. No, I'm not talking about a physical library, but because I come to decide that, of course, I can always do subject that most people are interested into, like the law of attraction, which I do, or and other stuff. But mainly I wanted to make a collection, because if you look at the definition what a library is, of course they have meaning of a library is physical, and they have like books. But you know how like we have ebooks now where you can buy books on Amazon and stuff like that. Well, I want my YouTube channel to be able at least have a collection of books where you can pick out any book that you want to read or interested in without me being there, and you can watch that over and over again, right? And then it's up to you. You don't have to watch all my videos, but you can watch what can be helpful for you at this moment if you would like, because not every subject, not every topic is to your liking or to your preference today, or what you need. What you need today does not include what you need tomorrow, meaning that every body preference and needs are different from the present to the future to the past, right? So let's start on. Um, this is a book that I recommend to anybody who wants to understand about female brains or the female. So I'm going to start be reading this. More than 99% of the male and female genetic coding is exactly the same. Out of the 30,000 genes in human genome, the less than 1% variation between the sexes is small, but that percentage difference influences every single cell in our bodies. From the nerves that register pleasures and pain to neurons that transmit perception, thoughts, and feelings and emotion. To observing eye, the brains of females and males are not the same. Male brains are larger by about 90%, even correcting for the body size. In the 19th century, scientists took this to mean that women had less mental capacity than men. Women and men, however, have the same number of brain cells. The cells are just packed more densely in women, clenched corset-like into a small skull. Let's see. Here we go. Common sense tell you that the boys and girls have behaved differently. We see it every day at home, on the playground, in classroom. But what the culture hasn't told us that the brain dictates these divergent behaviors. The impulse of children are so innate that they kick even if we're adults trying to nudge them in another direction. Girls arrive already wired as the girls, and boys already wired as boys. The brains are different by the time they're born, and their brains are what drive their impulses, values, and their very reality. The brain shapes the way we see, hear, smell, and taste. Nerves run from our sense organ directly to the brain, and the brain does all the interpreting, which is, I say, it's true. Whatever your reality, whatever you see, is how you see with your physical eye. I always say this: you see with your physical eye, but um, your brain interpret your reality. It is based upon the story, the affirmation that you tell yourself, and it changes the colors of your lens, which you see. That's how you see the world. Um, But the brain does more than that. It profoundly affects how we conceptualize the world. Whether we think a person is good or bad, if we like the weather today, it makes us unhappy. Or whether we incline to take care of the day business. You don't have to be a neuroscientist to know this. If you're feeling a little down and have a little nice glass of wine or a little piece of chocolate, your attitude can shift. A gray, cloudy day can turn bright, or irritation with a loved one can evaporate because of the way that chemical in those substances affect the brain. Your immediate reality can change in an instant. If chemical acting on the brain can create different realities. So yeah, okay, guys. If you're a guy, your fetus brain look like female. Female is nature default gender. Oh, our brain was female, and then we turned to a cat. So until 8 weeks old, every fetal brain looks female. Female is nature default gender. If you were to watch a female and male brain developing via time-lapse photography, you will see that their circuit diagram being laid down according to the blueprint drifted by both genes and sex hormones. A huge testosterone surge began in the 8 week while turning this unisex brain male by killing off some cells in the communication center and grow more cells in sex and aggression centers. If the testosterone surge doesn't happen, the female brain continues to grow un, um, perturbed. The fetal uh, girl brain cells spurt more connection in the communication center areas that process emotion. How does this fetal fork in the road affect us? For one thing, because of her larger communication center, this girl will grow up to be more talkative than her brother. Men use about 7,000 words per day. Women use about 20,000. For another is to find our innate biological destiny, coloring the lens through which each of us view and engage the world. And also environment affect us too. Now, we're gonna talk what I'm interested in, right? Because I asked the property manager and I asked my sister about this because when you starting to have a baby, your brain is rewired to nurture to care for the children. And I remember I asked the property manager, um, I asked him like about how did you start to care more for your children, or did your brain is rewired to look at your child differently and you want to protect the child? He said, yeah, the mommy brain. Motherhood changed you forever. Motherhood changed you because it's literally alter a woman brain structurally, fundamentally, in many ways, irreversibly. Deeply buried in my genetic code were triggered for basic mothering behavior that were primed by the hormones of pregnancy, activated by childbirth, and reinforced by close physical contact with my child. Humans are not quite so biologically determined. A human innate brain wiring, like that of any other mammals, responds to basic cues, the growing of the fetus in her womb. Her baby birth is suckling, touch, and smell, and frequent skin to skin closeness with her child. Even fathers, adoptive parents, and women who have never been pregnant can respond maturely after close daily contact with an infant. This physical clue from the infant forge new neurochemical pathways in the brain that create and reinforce material brain circuit aids by chemical imprinting and huge increase of oxytocin. These changes result in motivated, highly attentive, and aggressive protective brain that forces the new mother to alter her response and priorities in life. She's relating to this person in a way that she has never related to anyone else in her life. The stakes are life and death. In modern society, where women are responsible for not only giving birth to children, but working outside the home to support them economically, these changes in the brain create the most profound conflict of a mother life. The more you do something, the more cells the brain assign to that task. We go. Baby on the brain. Biology can hijack circuits in the spite of our best intention, and many women experience the first mother brain system long before they actually conceive a child. Especially if they've been trying for a while. Baby lust, the deep felt hunger to have a child, can hit a woman soon after she cradles someone else warm, soft newborn. Some, even the least child-focused female, can start craving the tender, delicious feel in small babies. They may chalk it up to ticking biological clock or the Me Too influence appearance, but um, I think Me Too is social proof. But the But the real reasons that brain changes has occurred and a new reality has set in. The sweet smell of an infant head create pheromone that stimulate the female brain to produce the potent love potion, oxytocin, creating a chemical reaction that induce baby love. And now we're gonna talk. Where is it? Here we go. Oh, here we go. The daddy brain. Expansion that go through hormonal and brain changes through roughly parallels those of their pregnant mates. Here we go. Da, 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 da. But what Jason actually had was a Covent syndrome, a common complaint of expecting that up to 65% worldwide who share some of the symptoms of pregnancy with their partners. In the week of before birth, researchers have found fathers have a 20% rise in their level of prolactin, the nurturing and lactation hormone. At the same time, their level of stress hormones, cortisol, doubles, increasing sensitivity and alertness. Then, in the first week after birth, men's testosterone plummets by a third, while their estrogen level climbs higher than usual. These hormones changes prime their brains for emotional bonding with their helpless little offspring. Men with lower testosterone level actually hears the cries of babies better. They don't hear quite as well as moms. However, when babies whimper, for example, father is slower than mother to respond, although they tend to react just as quickly when a baby screams. Men's lower testosterone level also decreases their sex drive during this time. Testosterone suppress maternal behavior in females as well as males. Fathers who have Creutzfeldt syndrome have higher level of prolactin and then other fathers do, and steeper drops in testosterone when they interact with their baby. It may be scientists think that pheromones produced by a pregnant woman can cause these neurochemical changes in her mate, preparing him to do doubting father and equipping him, secretly through smell, with some of the special nurturing mechanism of the mother brain. I like that. And I'm gonna talk about the chemical. Here we go. The case of neurohormones character. In other words, how hormone affect women's brain. Estrogen, the queen, powerful in control, all consuming, sometimes all business, sometimes an aggressive, seductress, friend of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. I can't even like say these words. Acetylcholine and norepinephrine, the feel-good brain's chemical. Progesterone in the background. I can't say it. In the background, but a powerful sister to estrogen. Intermittently appears and sometimes in a storm cloud, reversing the effects of estrogen. Other times it's mellowing agent, mother of allopurinol, the brain valent, chill pill. Testosterone, fast, aggressive, focused, all-consuming, masculine, forceful, seducer, aggressive, unfeeling, has no time for cuddling. Oxytocin, fluffy, purring kitty, cuddling, nurturing Earth Mother, the good with the Gerlinda in the Wizard of Oz. Find pleasure in helping and serving sister vasopressin, the male socializing hormone, sister estrogen, friend of dopamine, another feel-good brain chemical. Of course, there's more. That's it. I'm not gonna say anymore. But anybody who wants to know more can pick up this book. Um, it changed the way how I see, because I think we humans are uniquely different. Of course, we all know that, and we see life differently based on our experience, based on the story, based on where we grow up or how we grow up or what did we do when we were a kid, and it changes your behavior of your subconscious and all the idea that was programmed into our mind, and it dictate our behavior from on until something happened in their life, either crises or something emotional, and it changed their behavior from that set point. Um, and it changes the way you see things every day. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think humans are very interesting in general. Anyway, I do book reviews, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Like my video, and I'll see you. Bye bye.